God's afternoon to you all. I know it's been some time since I've posted a weekly stock pick. Doing some research. Been working on some trading mechanics, psychology, and yeah, just taking my time with the process. Um, so today I present to you, as a lot of people are probably anticipating, Tesla. So Tesla has earnings um, at the market close on Wednesday, and I figured because we took this trade last year and nailed it perfectly, we were looking at some symmetry with where the price was trading during last year's earnings this time. So this candle here, we got in at the low of the week right before earnings. Um, Off of just a symmetrical setup um, around the chart here from 2022. So our logic going into this trade has a lot to do with the weekly setup and the monthly projection of last month's monthly candle. So my primary thesis here has to do with these two candles. So the week of October 6th and October 13th. This two candle setup is one of my favorite setups, known as the Harami. And if we take a look at Apple, you'll see kind of a similar look. The Apple setup is a bit stronger just because the previous week did retrace and close this imbalance here at 245.31. Okay, so this low was 244.70. Okay, so this setup was a bit stronger. So that's why I'm actually anticipating Tesla selling off post earnings, right? To a low of just below 212 to 211. And then we're going to see higher prices potentially above 470. So this is our weekly view. Okay. This is our monthly view. And if we do a simple fib retracement here, we have our 50, or sorry, our 618 level at 402.46, our 50% down here at 388. So anything within this range would be an automatic buy for me. But if we look at the details of the lower time frame, and here, let me clean this up a bit. Okay, so ideally for me, we get around here prior to earnings, um, because I like symmetry, right? I like when things look symmetrical, but they're not always going to. Okay, but if we can get to around 454 prior to earnings, I will feel a lot more confident in taking longs. Like I said, below 412. So here's a 1 hour order block that is currently unmitigated, meaning price has not closed the imbalances here. So here's a close of 408. Okay. So I would be a buyer anywhere below 412. And if we can stay above 408, but even potentially reaching inside um, of this 618 level as well. But again, my primary objective is to wait for any weakness post earnings to find ourselves trading above last week's close, which was just here above 441. So the weekly Harami setup, the Harami setup in general, uh, we want to, in this case, this is a bullish setup. We want to close above um, October 16th, the week of October 6th. Sorry, excuse me, the week of October 6th, we want to close above this high. So 453. So we're looking for price to come down below 412 to that 408 range to grab some longs. My um, right now, my contract of choice would be the 430s. I'm expecting premium to drop significantly on those, especially trading 20 bucks below that price, and to give us an entry anywhere from $2 to uh, $1.50 on those contracts. Here's also a 4-hour order block, the high of it being 397. So ideally, we don't come into this order block, but again, it aligns with that zone we are targeting for the highest probability. So my first level would be let's see here. Sorry, give me 1 second to get to this Tesla chart. Okay, so we have our 4-hour, and we have our 30-minute. All right, so 4-hour on the right, 30-minute on the left. And so the 30-minute, we have an order block here at about 411 and 3/4 down to 408.27. And then we have a confluence of order blocks. So the high of this 30-minute order block is around 392.30, and the low of it being 389.50. So that aligns with this 4-hour order block over here. Okay, so that's good confluence to you know allow us to be a bit more patient. And another thing I would probably add to kind of the area we're looking for is that we do have this daily gap here from September 12th. So again, the objective is to find ourselves um, in the highest probable area for the least amount of risk, starting from our thesis on a higher time frame. So the monthly says that we could retrace further, and it would make sense too, right? So if you're trying to um, give the most difficult look um, for retail, right? Instead of just going straight up, you'll generate enough liquidity selling off after earnings and then proceeding to your projected levels. So if we're trading somewhere around 410 to 408 after earnings, I would be looking to get into the 430 calls. If we're trading somewhere near this gap around 396, then my contract would probably drop, the adjacent amount of points, say, 10 to 15 points. So we're looking at the 420, 415 contracts with a target um, above 450 with continuation by end of the month to 470 and above. Okay. So just to recap, and I seem to have lost my fib levels, so let me just redraw those. Okay. So number one, ideally, we want price to go near 454 to 455 prior to earnings. Um, and post earnings, we're looking for our first area 408, our second area within this 4 hour and 1 hour order block, excuse me, 30-minute order block confluence of 390, 392 down to 389. So call it 393 to 390 as our second highest probable area. And just simply being a sweep of this entire range. So if you look at this range, grab my rectangle. So this range just simply being, okay, so here's the top of the range, here's the low of the range. So a sweep of this range, and then a movement back into the range, I think takes us to the top of the range. So whatever, um, you know, whatever price action we get post earnings, we are not trying to get in before earnings, unlike how we did last year. Last year, we got in before earnings because of where price was trading prior to, right? Right now, we are in the middle of the range, okay? If we swept the high of the range prior to earnings, if we're trading at 480 and above, we would look for puts. And if we were at the bottom below this range prior to earnings, we would be looking for calls going into earnings. But because we are in the middle of the range, we're not looking to enter, but we are looking for price to come below the low of this range and into these two order blocks here. And then we would definitely be looking for a close above last week's close at 340 and potentially above 2 weeks ago high above 454, 455. I know that was a lot, but it's definitely, what I think is most probable to happen. We do have, good insight into Tesla. We've traded it, for years at this point, and we're familiar with the price action and how it moves. So yeah, it's a great setup for this week. We haven't taken any trades this week. We missed our entries on gold, um, the longs on Monday, but more importantly, the short near the end of the day of the 403 sweep. If we go to that real quick, so end of day, there's a push above 403. That's gold futures. This is, where's gold? Oh, here's gold. Okay, so yeah. So we got above 403, which was this overnight high from Thursday of last week. We did that during the New York session on Monday. We thought about getting in, but we wanted to wait. And today actually presented a great opportunity to sell short once New York opened down to 375, which took us to some pretty significant levels. But anyway, this was the only trade we were looking at going into the week that we thought we could take. But now we're just waiting for Tesla, and we will provide an update after earnings. Best of luck to everyone who will be taking this trade. Be patient and, yeah, stick to our trading plan. All right. God bless everyone.